Thanks. Okay, good evening. Welcome, everyone. This is a special meeting of the Pacific Grove Unified School District Board of Education. Thank you for being here. As we begin this meeting, it's important to pay respect to and acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the Ohlone, Costanoan, and Esselen people, and additionally pay respect to elders, both past and present. Next item on our agenda is the roll call. Dr. Adamson.
President McNary.
Here.
Clerk Shamas.
Here.
Dr. Hazen.
Here.
Trustee Otmar.
Here.
And Trustee Wex.
Here.
Okay, thank you. With all 5 trustees present in person, we have a quorum, and just thank you to the board members for making time to be here to get our business done on an off day in the summer. So appreciate it. Item D is adoption of the agenda. We will first go out to public comment on the adoption of the agenda. We will also have public comment before closed session. So are there any public comments on the adoption of the agenda as it's presented? Okay, seeing no public comments, I will bring it back up to the board for any discussion on the proposed agenda. I'm not seeing any movement toward the microphones. If there's no discussion, we can move on. If someone would like to make.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you, Trustee Hazen. Motion made by Trustee Hazen.
I'll second.
And a second from Clerk Shamas. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? No. Motion carries. Thank you all. Next, I will identify closed session topics for this evening's agenda. Item A is negotiations, collective bargaining session, planning and preparation with the CSEA for 2025 and 26. Item B is public employee discipline, dismissal, release, leave complaint under Government Code Section 54957 Subdivision B. Are there any public comments on closed session topics? And if you are wishing to make a public comment, you can either approach the podium in the room or raise your digital hand online. Each public commenter will have 3 minutes, and you'll be able to tell your time by the green to red light. So whenever you're ready, you have the floor. Thanks.
Good evening. On behalf of CSEA, the California School Employees Association, we would like to thank all the trustees, Dr. Adamson, and district office staff for creating this special meeting so you can be updated on the negotiations process. Additionally, we would like to thank all classified staff, all of you, for being present tonight on short notice. You showed up just for us tonight, just as you do daily for all of our students. As part of the CSEA negotiations team, we have worked to build trust with the district's team. However, along the way, we have seen some fractures on how trust is defined by each of us. CSEA believes trust is strengthened by correct and accurate numbers on spreadsheets without having classified staff show their pay stubs to prove a number is incorrect. It is strengthened by delineating budgets to the accurate funds they are tied to and not lumped together to show a much larger number. It is information shared in a timely manner, not explained away as requiring a lot of time to be provided correctly. And finally, it is strengthened by each of our signatures serving as the commitment to the time and financial effort agreed to. The class and comp study, item A on your agenda, was signed by both negotiation teams on April 9th, 2025. The financial obligation within it for year 1 of 4, while not specific, was a known pending cost. Your support in making whole employees for the work they've been doing with job descriptions and duties not updated since 2006. Yes, 2006, will allow new job descriptions to be in place and individuals to be paid at the rate they should be earning based on the comparable districts that have been surveyed. We thank you all again for your time this evening. Thank you all classified staff for being here.
Thank you for your public comment.
Hello, Board. Greg Kelly, Vice President for our local CSA Chapter 229. I want to address briefly the class and comp issue, which is primarily why we're here tonight. And I really want to narrow it down. As you know, most of the work has been done. The classifications have been accomplished, i.e. primarily job descriptions have been rewritten. New ranges have been assigned to those newly developed job descriptions. That's a lot of hard work that's done. We now finally, in negotiations, have a start date for when these new ranges will apply, which is now retroactive to July 1 of 2025. Really, the one little question we have is, what is the dollar amount at which we start? The district's proposal has been consistently a dollar for dollar proposition. In other words, as each of these reassigned or reclassified positions, they would start essentially as without losing money, they would be assigned a new range. Let's say, as an example, let's say they're a 33B, and then after classification they are, or 33F, and then after reclassification now they're a 36. We would find the range that puts them, say now in this case C, they were a F, now they're a C at the new range of 35. That amount would essentially put them at their current pay rate. Our proposal, which is that they start at this new range, not at a dollar for dollar, but rather a 5% increase from where they currently are. So that in some cases will cause them, let's say in that other example, they were 30, their new range would be 35C. Maybe in our proposal, it would be a 35D as an example. So that is essentially what we're trying to decide here. That's really where we cannot come to agreement, is where do we start? Dollar for dollar, which is the district's proposal, or our proposal, which is that it would be a minimum of 5% increase, that starting point. To put that in perspective, some of these new reclassifications will put these people in a range that is in excess of 5%. In some cases, quite a bit more. So we feel like relative to that, our 5% ask is quite modest and quite reasonable. I suspect if we were to ask for everyone to be made completely whole, in other words, they're put at their new range, and they would be, the total cost of that would be substantially more, perhaps 2 or 3 times what our 5% ask is. So given what it could be, what
Mr. Kelly, I apologize. I have to cut you off at the 3 minutes with the timer. Thank you very much for your comments this evening. Would anyone else like to make a public comment on the closed session agenda this evening? Either online, you can raise your digital hand, or approach the podium in the room. Okay, with that, the board cannot respond to public comments, and thank you all for being here. We will be now adjourning to closed session, and we will reconvene somewhere between now and an hour from now with a report out, which is very basic. Thanks. In open session to report out action taken in closed session this evening with regard to item A, negotiations, collective bargaining session, planning and preparation with the CSEA for 2025-26. Information was received and direction was given. With regard to item B, public employee, discipline dismissal, release, leave complaint under Government Code Section 54957 subdivision B, information was received by the board. That is the report. Our next regular board meeting will be on June 18th, 2026, and we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.